Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We are back. Welcome back. Happy Monday. We are going to be drawing the puffin that you can see above. That's going to be our new start. You can just about see. Before I make a start, I've done a little bit of line art just so I can sort of not be drawing it as I'm colouring it. So I've put in my guidelines. That's what I'm going to be working with. And yeah, so let's make a start. I feel like I've not used my coloured pencils for ages. So I'm going to start with my dark sepia. I'm using, for those that are new, I use the Faber Castell Polychromos pencils. These are artist grade pencils that are light fast and archival. So what that means is archival means that they will last a long time, and light fast is what it says on the tin, that even in sunlight it shouldn't fade. So I might just take a moment for the camera to focus on this until we give it something to focus on. I apologise if this will blur up a little bit. Just do the same over here. So I hope everybody's had a really good weekend. I had a very nice weekend. I celebrated my youngest's 20th birthday. So that's weird now to think that there are no more teenagers in the house. Right, the camera's just going to struggle, but I'm just marking in the dark parts of the eyes to begin with, and we'll go in darker in a little bit. There are no catch lights in this puffin's eyes, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm just thinking which would be the best red. Just bear with me while I have a look at this red. It's quite a rich blood red colour, so I think I might go for these two. Let me try these to start with. So I've picked out the deep red and just trying to see what that says. Alizerin Crimson? Who knows? Who knows? using the deep red first. I've just got to get back in the practice of saying what pencils I'm using, because having done a couple of ink pictures the last couple of weeks, obviously I didn't have to say what I was using because it was just one pen. And now I've gone back to using pencils. I've already got a red mark on this paper. Look at that. It's really annoying. Right, now to use this crimson. Oh yeah, that's the perfect colour. Using little circular motions, because obviously this is on the eye. And we want to try and create that rounded shape. That's good. Okay, and I'm going to use the black. Well, nice and sharp, nice sharp pencil. I chose this picture because I was looking to see what I wanted to draw next, and I couldn't quite decide. I'd seen a few pictures over the weekend that I'd put up on Discord, but then I kept looking because I just didn't feel like I'd found the right one that I wanted to do next. And then I found this one, puffin. You can just see where I'm just sort of trying to start filling it in now. There was the puffin, and I found one of a crocodile that I really liked, and I think the crocodile will be very interesting to try next. I chose this picture because normally when you draw birds, you only tend to get one eye because they are prey animals, most of them. They have an eye either side of their head for, vision to check for predators and things. So you don't very often get a picture of both eyes in the picture, without it looking a little bit weird, whereas this puffin picture, it's got the eyes in perfectly. Obviously there are exceptions to this rule before people come for me. So there are birds of prey, which, because they're predators, their eyes are very much forward. So you have the owls, you have your hunting birds whose eyes are mostly forward. I'm just trying to create that sort of beveled shape in the head. Camera's just getting used to focusing on all this now. So I'm just going to go back in with those two reds now and just sort of strengthen those. I really don't want any of the tooth of the paper to be showing through. For those that want to know, I am using the Strathmore Bristol board with the vellum surface. I'm trying really hard not to get any of this red to pull down any of the black that's above it, because I just don't want to muddy those two colours. One. Okay. So we have that bit done. So, which bit should I do next? Right, I think if I use the cold grey, let me just sharpen this. Right, I'm just going to take away this line. Very much do not want the pencil to be showing through. So this is the cold grey one. Thinking about feather direction. And then I'm just going to go over that with the warm grey one. Pushing that further up the head. Okay, so there is a little bit of almost like an orange colour just here where the beak joins the face, So I'm just going to use this terracotta colour just to hint at that. Working with coloured pencils, you really want to go from light to dark. So always do the lightest colour you see first, and then slowly build up your layers from that. So I've definitely got quite a sort of grey black head here. So I'm just going to go in with the dark sepia, looking at the direction of the feathers and just sort of gently starting to shade that in, and use this as my base layer. I'm not making the strokes too long because the feathers on the top of this puffin's head are so densely clumped together. I don't want the impression of long feathers. I think what I will do is I will take this, just this pencil line on the edge here, just take that away just so it's not so stark. And I think as well, let's take away this pencil mark at the top of the head so it's not so stark and obvious. You don't want any of the graphite sort of showing through. So I'm using really, really light pressure here, just where I'm just sort of mapping in where this darker area of feather is going to be on the top of this puffin's head. And I'm just going to leave the very top of the head slightly lighter than the rest, just because the light is hitting it almost from behind the bird. So I need to remember that when I'm going in darker. Okay, so I'm just thinking which is going to be the best grey to go in with next. I think I'm going to go in with the cold grey 5. Just see how I get on with that. Yeah, I think I need something darker. I'm going to go in with the cold grey 6. That's better. So all I'm trying to do at the moment is just fill in the tooth of the paper. Make sure all those white pieces that sort of poke through are getting filled with layers of colour. Right, I'm just going to go over the top of that with, no, not that one. I'm just going to go over the top with the warm grey 6, so mixing a lot of the warm and the cold greys together. I might use a bit of Payne's grey on top of this, just because there is ever such a slight blue tone to these feathers. where's that Payne's grey? It's just... So a lot of people would probably just say, oh, that's just black feathers, just do black feathers on the top. But especially on an animal, black is not just black. There are many undercolors, there are many tones to it that you really want to try and capture. So there could be browns, there could be blues, greens. And instead of just drawing what you think you can see, which is a black and white bird, you need to really look at your reference picture and think, okay, what can I see here? What colour am I seeing? Sort of almost looking beyond what your brain is telling you of that there's a black and white bird in front of you. And it's about looking at what you can actually see in front of your eyes, and then thinking that you need to do this light to dark, and also what you know of colour theory, so how you need to stack your colours, how they're going to look together. There are lots of books, websites on colour theory, so you don't have to buy anything. You can just see. I'm just going to put in a very smooth outline of where the top of this bird's head is. And also when you create lots of layers with your colours like this, when you have to use your slice tool, which is, for those that don't know, this is a slice tool. It's got a little ceramic blade on the end, so it's not sharp, it's not going to cut you, but it allows you to create little lines through the coloured section of your coloured pencil just to add detail. And it will lift through those layers to the colours that are underneath, or sometimes you can go all the way through to the original colour of the paper, if that's what you want. So we're getting there with the head of this lovely little puffin. Bring some of that grey a little further down, just a little bit. Tonight I am starting a 3-day course. It's going to be held over Zoom on drawing with pastel pencils, which I've never really given a proper go of before, but I really like the effects that you can get with them that I've seen other artists use. And I think, if my understanding is correct, is that with coloured pencils you go from light to dark. And I think with pastel pencils, or pastels, or pan pastels, you can put light over dark. But there's a lot more blending involved, and it just looks really, really good, and I'm really tempted to sort of try it. So I've signed up to a 3-day course, just using the sepia now just to get that lighter edge. Just so that we can practice with pastels, drawing different things. I think tonight we're going to concentrate on drawing fur with pastels. What are the other 2 days? Let me just have a look at my trusty little book. Alright, so it's golden yellow fur tonight, and then Tuesday we will focus on a dog's nose, and on the Wednesday we will focus on a blue cat eye. So just a little starter course, it's completely free. And yeah, so I bought myself some pastel paper because you have to have the proper paper, if I can say that correctly, the proper paper for drawing pastels on, because it needs to have something to grip to allow you to blend it properly. So I'm just going over all of those colours now with the dark sepia, just to sort of blend it and push it into the paper. So just using a slightly firmer pressure now. Before I come in with the black. It does feel weird being back doing coloured pencil after having done ink for a while. I was really loving the ink. I love the way ink drawings look. I'll definitely be doing a lot more of that. Right, I'm going to go in with the black now. So let me just see. So the black is more here, right at the edge of the head. Keeping this piece of glassine paper underneath my hand that's actually on the paper, because I don't want to transfer any natural oils from my skin onto the paper or over any of the pencil colours, because that will affect the archival nature of the picture. there is a slow gradient of light here. It's not totally black in the center, so I'm just almost dancing around the edge of it, just to make sure it blends from those different greys into the black. Right, and I'm just going to get the sepia now and just blend this a little bit closer to where the beak joins the face. Because I don't want any white really. A look at, I think it'd be best to use a grey. Let me sharpen this because I need a really sharp pencil for this piece. Okay. And then I'm just going to go in with that terracotta just either side of those dark marks. Okay, so just debating now whether to do the beak first or whether to do the face. I think I'll do the face just because I've got those pencils out already. So I'm going to go in with the cold grey one first of all, and I'm going to go out and do around these eyes. Let me just get rid of this. Keeping mindful of the feather direction again. just go over that with the warm grey one. And again with the white, you're not actually really looking at white. The face of this puffin has got a lot of grey in it. So I'll pull that closer so you can see. It just is slightly different than the white of the paper that's behind it, and when I add some more greys to really sort of deepen the edge, it would distinguish it from the paper behind. Let's get the rest of this outline away. Going in with the cold grey 1. Just go over this with the warm grey. Not pressing too hard, because I don't want to squash the tooth of the paper either. Okay. Morning, Jamie. How are you? It's quite a dirty grey, so I'm going to go in with maybe this warm grey 5. How are you doing? Did you have a good weekend? Let's go in with the warm grey 4. Just going to use my I've got a blending stump somewhere. just need a bit of white, actually. Just oh, hang on, I need to leave that out, don't I? Trying to keep this area quite soft because there aren't really any definitive feather shapes here. It's very, very smooth on the face, so I don't want to go in with any hard edges or hard lines. Just lots of soft blending on this face. So you can just see without the light glaring on it, it's just sort of bringing in, so you can see the difference between the white paper behind and the greyness on the face. Just sort of bringing that in, and there is a little bit of the terracotta that is just also comes all the way down here. Because we have right there, we have a lovely yellowy orange section. Just thinking which orange. I'll use the orange glaze. use that yellow just on the top bit again. Very much want to get these bright bits on the bird's face correct and quite distinct, because those are the bits that, you know, when they're mating and things, that's what they use to attract their females. Yes. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. Chat, so let me just bring it up a little bit closer so you can see. So I'm going to go a little bit darker on the head eventually, but once I've got the rest of the colours in the face, then I can see where I need to go just that little bit darker. So it's all about going back in and changing things. But yeah, not a bad start. Not a bad start to the week. I'm really happy with this little puffin. I think he's so cute. Really pleased with him. Or her. We'll have to decide. Oh, we've gone blurry. So yeah, so thanks for joining me today, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Nice quiet one today. And I will see you here tomorrow. So take care. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely day. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye.